Undisputed.
Just when you think the West can't get any more competitive, a guy named KD gets cleared to play. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome into Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Hi, guys.
Good morning, Jen. How are you today?
I almost didn't come to work today. Both my feet started hurting. I said, well, I can't play if my feet hurt because the foot flu is going around. LeBron's got it in both feet, and now AD's got it in his right foot, and by tomorrow he'll have foot flu in his left foot.
You don't need your feet to do what you do.
I don't know. I got to balance them here on this chair. They're aching.
Ain't nothing wrong with your feet.
Ain't
nothing wrong with your feet.
Aches and pains.
But I hope you can run, because I'm going to put you on the move right quick. Well, out the gate.
Well, the Lakers can't put foots in anybody because they don't have any foots to put in.
Did they win last night?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know how, but they did.
You saw how Schroeder?
Who needs LeBron James?
Whatever. Whatever.
We will get to the Lakers, guys, but first, let's talk some Suns, shall we? Kevin Durant dropping 23 points on 10 of 15 shooting last night in his Phoenix debut. The Suns also got the 105-95 win over Charlotte. After the game, KD says, I feel like I fit in pretty well. I guess so, wouldn't you? Shannon, did we just see the debut of the NBA champions?
No, we saw the debut of Kevin Durant, who looked absolutely unbelievable, like we thought he would, like we knew he would, considering he's a guy that doesn't need to dominate the basketball in order to be extremely efficient. And that's what he was. You can tell, even after almost 7 weeks of being absent, that jumper was not in the rain. It was rust-free. And he came in and he looked like Kevin Durant. But you want me to sit here and say that after one game, that this is the NBA champ? They beat the Hornets without their best player. And so I'm supposed to deduce that from that. I can't.
With a guy who'd been out for a month.
Yes.
Who's playing his first game ever
Yes.
with a whole new group of teammates.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that two things can be true. Kevin Durant looked unbelievable. Devin Booker looked unbelievable. DeAndre Ayton was dominant. They played the Hornets without LaMelo Ball, who's their best player.
Yep.
And so you want me to be able to deduce, because Kevin Durant played with the Suns, debuted and played extremely well in 27 minutes, had 23 points on 15 shots, 10 of 15, 2 of 4 from the three, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, plus 13. And I'm supposed to be able to deduce all of that, what you want me to do. Project all the way out after beating the Hornets. No, I can't do that, Skip Bayless. I am not going to do that. But I will say this. Kevin Durant's going to fit in with anyone, Skip, because he's not ball dominant. So he can run around and come off a pick. They can give him the ball at the block, and he can just rise up and like we saw him do a couple of times last night.
Yep.
So he's going to work. Where wouldn't Kevin Durant fit in at?
Good question.
So with that being said, Skip, but I'm not willing to jump to the conclusion that you're trying to get me to go to, even though he...
I'm not trying to get you going. You can go wherever you want to go.
No.
Okay, big no?
No.
What did you see? What do you feel? What does your gut tell you? What does your eye test tell you about that team with 19 games left in this regular season?
I look at it like this, Skip. There's really no prohibitive favor. There's not a team that was like the 17, 18, 19 Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant and Steph Curry.
Yep.
Now, can they beat anybody? Yes, absolutely, because you got two outstanding offensive players. Now, if you tell me DeAndre Ayton is going to play like this throughout the entirety of the playoff,
Yep.
I say, Skip, it's going to be hard for somebody to beat those guys because they got it that's extremely efficient in Kevin Durant that can go get a shot anytime he want to. He's the one guy, Skip, that you can say, okay, go get me a bucket, KD. How you need it? You want me down on the block, or you want me to get the mid-range, or you want me to pull up from three? But because there's no dominant team, could they win it all? Absolutely. But could the Celtics win it all? Absolutely. What about Milwaukee? Absolutely. So with that being said, I'm not willing to say, I'm not going to put them to the front of the line, even though they have Kevin Durant, and although he looked extremely, extremely well last night, I'm not moving them to the front of the line.
Okay. After one game against Charlotte, I'm going to move them to the front of the line in the Western Conference. I'm going to move them past your MVP, Jokic, and the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to move them past Ja. We're going to speak about Ja here in just a few minutes.
Okay.
And the Memphis Grizzlies, who are playing at a supremely high level as we speak. I'm going to move them past a Sacramento team that I am falling deeper and deeper in love with every time I watch them, because they're fun to watch and they have arrived. They have come of age right before your very eyes.
They get up and down. They're going to score a bunch of points on you now.
Which brings me to the current 4 seed in the West, the Phoenix Suns. All of a sudden, Kevin Durant walks in the door, and to your point, he's done this numerous times in his career. It looks like he just played last night. It looks like he was playing on a back-to-back as a 22-year-old. The jumper is rust-proof, as you just said. I don't know how he does it. He joined Golden State. He went to the first finals. I thought the pressure of the NBA world is on his slender shoulders, and he rose and shone in those first finals with Golden State. Even though he joined a loaded team, he became the stars, and he was the MVP in back-to-back finals. He said he was nervous going into last night because he didn't want to let down his new teammates. And right out of the box, he did what I told you would start happening that first morning that the sun rose in Phoenix. We're at the Super Bowl on that first Thursday morning, and the trade bombshell had dropped that Kevin Durant was a Phoenix Sun. And by God, we were in Phoenix with a Phoenix crowd around us. And I said, gee, I opened the show by saying, I think the Phoenix Suns just won a championship. I wasn't sure at that point if it was this year's championship or next year's championship, but I am
willing to go this year.
Yeah, I'm willing to go that this is the team to beat this year. You made
in both conferences.
Yes, sir. And you made immediate great points on that Thursday morning. What about health? Because we got health everywhere. Health is going to tell the tale for everybody. It's going to tell the tale for your Lakers. And by the way, we're going to deal with them here in a few minutes. I'm not ruling them out of this thing yet because it's still there's so many injuries, there's so many X factors up and down the board that it's still hard to predict, and it's hard to predict with these guys. It's big ifs. If they all stay healthy, is Kevin going to stay healthy?
Right.
He's been about as fragile as Anthony Davis has, right? We got Steph Curry X factor. Is he going to come back, and is he going to be Steph Curry or not? Right. We can just keep on keeping on with all the teams and all the X factors. We got the Russell Westbrook X factor now with the Clippers. The point is that this guy is the easiest to play with superstar there has ever been, and it ain't even close. One time back in my days on First Take, I threw out this when he was playing with Russell Westbrook, and I said, Kevin Durant is a great complimentary star, and Stephen A. went crazy. He's not a compliment. Well, he was to Russ because they favored Russ. That's why Kevin finally left. But my point was, he was completely content to take a back seat to if Russ wanted to shoot 30 shots, he'd say, okay, it's basketball. Right. If that works for the basketball team. Right. Well, he was content last night. He took 15 shots. He made 10 out of 15, but isn't that par for his course?
Hell, I think 9 or 10 over with jumpers.
Okay, he just makes jump shots, and he was upset. He said, I missed 4 that I shouldn't have missed. Right. Okay, well, that had been 14 out of 15. He made 2 of 4 3-point shots. He didn't get to the line very much, but and I know he's a 90% free throw shooter. And I think his defense is being underrated because he had a couple of big blocks last night that were significant in the game, albeit against Charlotte. But his first game thrown in, they got, again, 19 games left, just not a lot of games. Yeah. And by the way, they face the 4th toughest finishing schedule because I'm looking down the schedule, and we got a lot of fire testing going on here because they're going to get thrown right into the fire. As we go forward, they got to go at Chicago, at Dallas. Then let me get some big games. They got to play Sacramento. They got to go to Golden State. They got to play Milwaukee. They got to go to Oklahoma City, go to L.A. I'm not sure which one this is. I think this is the Clippers.
No, they got the Lakers. They got the Lakers in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, then they got the Lakers. My schedule doesn't say who the teams are, whether it's Lakers or Clippers. But they got to go to Sacramento. And they play Denver twice. My point is, there's a lot of tough games left. So we're just talking about Charlotte. I'm going to give you your big Charlotte point because they just played their easiest remaining game. They had 20 remaining when Kevin walked in the door last night, and now the 19 are all much to very much tougher than the one last night. But here's what impressed me the most: Kevin played higher minutes than I thought. I thought it might be like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I thought 25.
Yeah, okay. So, he got to 27. Okay. And the game got a little tight. Oubre hit a 3 early in the 4th quarter. And I think it's, it's 10:44 left when Oubre hits a 3. So it cuts it to 6. And you say, well, Kevin doesn't want to lose his debut with the Phoenix Suns. So he goes back in the game at this point. And I'm going to show you what he proceeded to do in his next 4 shots, if I could see this. The first one comes with 10:49 left, and he goes up and gets knocked down and rips it and gets his lone free throw of the night and swishes that. Okay, so that's the 3-point. And then here he goes again. And this is a tough shot. It's like he's triple teamed over there, and he finds a little wedge and gets in, and then here he goes again.
That's a free throw line. That's a free throw.
If you let him get to the free throw line, he's going to make that shot. And here he goes again. And once you go up, Oubre is a pretty good defender. But like I always say about Kevin, once he gets to his spot and he launches, what are you going to do? He's shooting it up so high, 7 feet tall. There's nothing
to the coach is like, hey.
You just hope he's having an off night.
You hope he misses.
Okay, so I just showed you he scored 9 straight points over a span of about 2.5 minutes. Well, that's sensational.
Yeah.
And remember, in Brooklyn, before he banged up his knee, he was putting up MVP caliber numbers. I'm not saying he was the MVP, but you look at the numbers and you say, that's pretty sensational. And I told you yesterday, his mid-range jump shooting numbers are off the charts. They're historical pace mid-range.
But Skip, did you need to see this year?
No.
He's always been great at the mid-range game.
Okay. But the beauty is that he blends so easily. And I love the quote. I'm going to read it real quick from Devin Booker after the game. He said, this is one of those moments that doesn't really feel real. Because he's looking at Kevin Durant in awe. Yes. He's Devin Booker, and Devin Booker's a really good basketball player.
Come on, think about it now. You playing Books in his prime, and all of a sudden, a guy, Kevin Durant, says, you know what? You wake up the next morning, and Kevin Durant got your uniform on.
He's got a Phoenix Suns jersey
Come on now.
I know. So Book goes on to say, it's just every time he shoots the ball, it's just so effortless. You can see defenders trying their hardest to contest or fight over a screen, and he just looks unbothered and unfazed. Well, he does.
He is. Because he is.
Because he knows, as he said, do you know who I am?
Yes.
Well, yeah, you're Kevin Bleepin Durant, right? Okay,
yes.
so that's who you are. Okay, so in the big picture here, he'll blend in because he has little to no ego.
Right.
And I loved what he called Booker right after the game. He said he's a pure basketball player. Well, that's the highest compliment